Welcome to Africa Original Channel. For the best African news, subscribe, turn on notification bell, like, leave your comment. See you in every single video.
Whom his father had lived with my father during youth service. Look, listen to this. Lived with my brother, then moved and lived with a person whom his father during youth service had lived with my brother. Sorry, I lived with my father. Are you getting that? Now, the third person in this picture was the person who asked me to come and manage his entertainment company. I moved to manage his entertainment company. He said, listen, it will be good for us to relate better if we live in the same space. I moved from where I lived and moved into the place. I called it an official residence because at the time, I worked for his entertainment company. At the time I was working for his entertainment company, I was also a special, a special assistant, a PA to Julius Agu. Julius Agu, I was his PA for 2 years. So while I was hustling another job to be a studio and company manager for another company, I was working with Julius Agu. Now, Social Capital, Julius Agu. Social Capital, a friend who has introduced me to somebody, and I'm building something with them. So now, these are 4 people in Lagos. Right? I didn't live with Julius Agu, but I was his PA. But I've lived with these 3. This is my brother. This is my cousin that his father had lived with my father in the past. And then this is the entertainment company I'm managing. So you see these 3 people? How did I get to meet these 3 people? This is my brother, regardless. But these 2 people, I got to meet them, and they gave me the assistance they gave me, or they gave me the trust and the job they gave me because of the social capital that has been exchanged in the past. So, while I was managing that company, a friend called me. So before I was managing the company, a friend called me and said, a friend who is also my elder brother's friend, he said, do you know a guy called Inyanya? I said, no, I didn't know him. At the time, I didn't know who Inyanya was. At the time. He said, oh, he's a winner of Project Fame. I said, oh, really? I went to check him out. Then, you can check a few information on Google and all of that. I checked him out. They gave me his number. I started calling him. Inyanya's success was as a result of social capital he has built with somebody else who introduced him to me, and because of our synergy, it worked. So at the time Inyanya was introduced to me, I was about to get the job. No, I had not met the person to get the job then. So at the time Inyanya was introduced to me, it was maybe a month before I got the job to manage the entertainment company, and a studio, a good recording studio came with it. So while I was doing that, I was building my own social capital. Social capital goes with access. I got Inyanya, I started calling his phone, where are you? Somebody just introduced you to me. I want us to work together. Inyanya was like, no, I don't want us to work. I don't care, But because I knew that my next level, I could feel it, that my next level of growth and succession will come from somebody within the Nigerian entertainment industry. I could feel it. I flew to Abuja for Headies. Headies 2009 or 9, yeah. Headies 2009 was held at the International Conference Center in Abuja. I walked into that room. As I was going in, I saw TY Mix. And as I was walking in, I saw somebody talking to, was it Nomolos or somebody? And I turned. And I heard somebody say, Inyanya. I said, are you Inyanya? I said, yes. I said, come. My name is Ubi. He said, oh, you're the one that I've been calling. I said, yes, I'm the one that I've been calling you. let me tell you what I did. I made sure Inyanya did not fly out of Abuja without me. I flew from Abuja all the way with Inyanya to Lagos, and I took him straight to my official residence. At the time, I'd gotten the job. Listen, at the time, I'd gotten the job with the entertainment company. I flew straight with him to the apartment where I was given to live. At the time, the guy that had given me the apartment, you know him. I'm sure you heard this song that Burna Boy had. He mentioned somebody called Bossman. Bosun Ario. Bossman. He mentioned him in that song. That's the guy. He moved back out of the country. I was here, left to handle his company and do everything I could do to make sure that it succeeds. What do we have? We had a music studio. So I brought Inyanya. I said, listen, don't worry, everything will be fine. So after 2 days, Inyanya was in the house with me. Inyanya take off. Inyanya went to the mainland because at the time he lived on the mainland. I called Inyanya for like 2 weeks. He was not coming. So I came up with a strategy. So I called a friend. I said he should give me his checkbook. And he should write 500,000 naira. My brothers and sisters, listen to me. In 2009-10, 500,000 naira was like 5 million to me now. See, 500,000 naira at the time was like 5 million. So I got him to sign a check for 500,000. And I took a picture of the check in my then it was BB Messenger. I took a picture and sent it to Inyanya, and I said, Omo, one person won't book us for show. You need to show. That's when we came and recorded Kukere. And Kukere became what it is today. How did I meet Inyanya? Social capital. How did I get the studio Inyanya could record Kukere? Social capital. How did I get the house that housed us for a while before we got our own house? Social capital. So we're about to dissect this video. I wanted to just... The lady said, you are not going to ascend in any organization without a sponsor. You are not going to ascend in any organization without a sponsor. Listen.
Without a sponsor. It is the critical relationship in your career. There's not one evaluative process that I can think of, whether it's in academia, healthcare, financial services, not one that does not have a human element.
Now, we pray that God should give us. God will give us. But manna doesn't fall from heaven. Listen to that. God gives things through people. If you have a relationship with somebody now, and you feel like, I can get whatever I want to get outside, I can do whatever, build what you have now. Many times we're too quick to, oh, I can be wherever I want to be. I can do what. Listen, what God has given to you now. She said there is no element. She said there is no element. Listen, hold on, let me play that again.
Healthcare, financial services, not one.
Whether you work in a bank, whether you work in a farm, whether you work in a church, wherever you work, say there's none of those organizations that does not have a human element. What is a human element? A person like you and I. There's none. And if you are growing as a person, and you believe that you are stepping on toes and stepping on people and doing whatever you want to do, remember, I've lost a lot of things. Everything I say, every topic I bring up is as a result of my personal experience. So if I'm speaking about it with so much passion, these are the things that have happened to me. Don't get me wrong. Everything that has happened to me, I speak about it through a topic. These are personal experiences. I've gotten to a point in my life, at some point in my life, where I felt like nothing. Nobody. Who dares? I don't see anybody. But I also found out that when you have that kind of life, people cannot get into a room and speak for you. Do you have somebody speaking for you? HR departments in companies are given to people who have been tested and trusted that they will never make anybody a victim of circumstance. If you have issues with HR in your company, in your organization, that's going to be a big situation for you. Now, when the board sits to decide on your case, see, we can always pray about stuff. We can always intercede about stuff. But guess what? Your discipline is very important. How you relate with people, the things you do, these are things that are very, very important. Who are you? What do you do? Who do you think you are? You think you can survive this earth without people? You are lying. Don't go and start saying, oh, what God cannot do does not exist. When you have messed up your entire social capital, you've messed up relationships in your office, and you are staying in the same position for 10 years without promotion. You have a stinking attitude in your office. You have this I don't care life, and then you go every morning and you are saying what God cannot do does not exist. It's okay that what God cannot do does not exist. But you need to do something for yourself by building relationships, times and seasons, one after the other. Nobody owes you anything. You owe yourself the social responsibility. You owe yourself as a human being to understand that at every point in your life, you need people. At every opportunity you have, you need people. I'm speaking from experience. There's a time, anywhere I go, people say, that guy, don't deal with him. When I enter a place, that guy, he's too proud. He carry himself. Because I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know the people, the relationships I had with people, that I was stepping on those. I didn't care. Because listen, at the time, there's nothing you can say to me. Until one person, a great guy and his wife, called me. And they told me, we had entered several rooms where we were the only ones that were trying to defend you in those rooms. You need to fix it. Even when I was leaving the meeting, I was like, fix what? Don't be me. I get the hottest artist for the country. They will always call me. I can do whatever I want to do. If you like, be Dangote, be Otedola, be Jeff Bezos. If you don't have the social capital, if you don't have the right relationship, people will get into a room and deny you of what is yours. Always understand something in this life today. Always understand something in this life today. Nobody. There are people that you think you know, you love them, you care about them, but they will get into a room and not speak for you. They will not. What's the reason?
By your delivering that,
What's the reason why they will not speak for you? It's because they cannot trust you. Listen, I saw a quote yesterday on Instagram. We're going to come back to this video. We're still dissecting the video. I saw a quote yesterday on Instagram by one of my friend, Wale. And he said, you can do everything right as a businessman, but things will go wrong. But there are people who will not understand, and then you lose social capital. Trust deficit is zero. Because you have done everything right to make sure your business can stand, but you still failed. Why? Because life happens. But there are people who will not understand that, and it's okay. Ebano, in 2015, when I got married, a day after my wedding, Ebano in Lekki Phase 1 got burnt. And before now, Ebano was already a growing brand and they were doing well. Fast forward to 5 years later or 6 years later, Ebano in Abuja got burnt again. And this time they had, what's it called? They had a CCTV that could tell that there was a small girl that walked into, and she walked directly to a place where I don't know if she knew that fire was going to come out from there. Listen to this. Are you going to say that Ebano had not done everything they could do? No, they have. Ebano is a successful business. They have different branches. In Lekki alone, I can remember Ebano in by Tantalizers. There's an Ebano in Chevron Drive. There's an Ebano in Oniru. You can imagine if Ebano has directors, people who have sponsored him, people have given him money as part of. So if at the end of the payment month, he cannot pay them their profits, automatically, Ebano becomes a bad person. But guess what? Ebano would have done everything in their power to make sure that their business is going. Do you know what it is for your business of 5 billion naira to be burnt down to ashes? Do you know what that is? What that means is you can do everything in your business and you will still fail. And you lose social capital. But one thing you can do for yourself is make sure that your sponsors or your investors can see that you have done everything possible to keep that business afloat. That's how a lot of people lose social capital, because they've done everything to make sure that their businesses are going well, but the businesses still fail. Why? Because there's always something. You can check you can check everything from theft from staff to different things, but something will still happen. And because of that, you might lose social capital. The trust deficit will reduce. What are you doing? Who is speaking for you in the room? Today, we can say, without me, Mr. A will not become. Without me, Mr. B will not become. Without me, Mr. C will not become. Make sure your mistakes are not consistent. Or make sure your mistakes don't happen exactly the same way year in, year out. Because For me, after Ebana lost their shop in Lekki Phase 1 5 years ago, I believe they would have put sprinklers inside all their stores. All their stores. So immediately there's fire anywhere, you can at least save something or save a lot. I don't know what that girl's plan was, but it happened. Back to our video. She said there is a measure on the land that what? She said there is a measure of subjectivity in who is presenting your case. There is a measure of subjectivity in who is presenting your case. Measure of subjectivity in who is presenting your case. Measure the person, the individual. How heavy is his weight? Do you know you can be in a board meeting and you are part of a company, but your vote might not count? Do you want your vote to be like how elections are conducted in Nigeria? The reason why a lot of people complain that they say they don't go out to vote is because they've lost trust in INEC. They don't believe our votes count. That means the trust between us and the government or government organization is zero. Those in our country today and the government, there's no social capital. We don't want them. We don't like them. Why? Because we believe that at some point in our lives, they have done something that we don't like. Or we don't like the way they are controlling the country. And at every opportunity you have, she said, there's a measure of subjectivity in who is presenting your case. Who is in that room talking for you? When you're about to be sacked from a company, who is saying that, no, leave her, leave him? We think that he or she needs more time. Who is that person speaking for you? Is it the MD? HR manager? The chairman of the board? Whose voice have you captured? Or which mind have you captured? Who is the person speaking for you? Also make sure that the things that you do as a person are not so repeated that even the chairman has heard your case so many times that if he says, this person have heard our case or his case so many times, there's nothing we can do. But also make sure that there are people who understand what you are doing and where you are going. Social capital, access.
Is presenting your case in what they say and how they interpret any objective data that you might have. You need to make...
Listen. People say data. Some people think data is when you subscribe your phone. Yes, that is data. Social capital is data. How is social capital data? Because the people you are looking for something from at every opportunity, at every time, guess what they are doing? The amount of things you are doing and the right things are right for you. That is their data on you. That's the social capital. One event cannot build you a social capital. One event. So, data, social capital is data. Access. When you have access, social capital grants you more access. And once your data is right, people can mark your script very well. Don't forget, there are people that have evil spirits that no matter what you do, they'll have nothing good to say about you. If you like, build them a mansion, get them a home, do whatever you can do for them, they will never still see you as somebody who they'll look at and say, this guy, we can push him to the next level. Let me tell you something. I know most of you will not like this, but I'll say this to you. Why do you think Tinubu? Why do you think? Let me tell you what social capital is. Do you know what? You want to know that? Tinubu is a result of social capital. You might not like this. Why do you think Tinubu, since 1999, has been able to hold Lagos? It's because he gives power. A man who will grow is a man that gives power. If you give power, you grow. Because at every opportunity you have, you are giving people power. You are able to distribute power. Tinubu already knows that he has maxed out on becoming a governor of Lagos State. And all he needed to do was, at the time he had the opportunity, he built and became a politically savvy man with so much of respect for his people. And he held Lagos State since 1999. Like this. The way to grow your power is to give it away. That's why Tinubu is so much important in our political space today. Some of you say, oh, Tinubu is a bad, he's a dead, abuse him. But this guy has invested so much, he has given out so much power to people. So the day Tinubu stands in Lagos State and says, my name is Asiwaju Bola Tinubu. I want all my sons and daughters who have benefited from me politically. A vice president will come out. A speaker of the House of Representatives will come out. Ministers, ex-governors, current governors will come out. House of Assembly members, House of Rep members, senators will come out. That is what is called social capital. I'm giving you an example of something you can relate. If you like, abuse Tinubu from today to 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. If you don't understand what the guy has done over time, politically, if you don't understand what this guy has done politically, he has used his money, his time, his experience, he has invested it into the things that he does. Don't just abuse somebody. Learn from the things that you can see from that guy. Why do you think they call him the leader of the APC? Let me tell you something. Muhammadu Buhari has social capital from the north. And the north has always voted Buhari, and he failed the election, I think, 3 times. Every year he contested and he kept failing. Until 2015, when Tinubu, who also has built his social capital within a particular area, brought his own people, and he said, Buhari, let's do this. And that's how Buhari was able to win an election. Because Buhari has always had 10 million votes, 11 million votes coming. So all Buhari needed was for Tinubu to come with his people and say, you know what, take this vote, let's put this vote together, and you win the election. That's how Tinubu was able to produce the vice president of a country. If you understand our politics in Nigeria, you understand that politically in Nigeria, everybody owns their part. And it will take a while for that to change. As young people, we can say, oh, I want to break this thing, we must break this thing. You have to break it by going in to understand how these people think and how they function. Access. You will never know what these people are doing. You will never know what these people are doing unless you open that door and enter and understand what they are doing. Then as a young person, if you don't like it, be the change you want to see. It takes time. Young people, let me tell you something. They say power is not given, it's taken. Right? But you cannot take power from outside. You have to take it from inside because you have to be under a political party. Either ruling or trying to rule. Name one person in Lagos, from local government to councillor, to House of Assembly member, to senators, to governor, deputy governor, commissioners, house special advisor. Name one person that you can say that has not passed through the school of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. You can say Tinubu is intimidating you, he's doing this. He's not. The more people who will enter the political space will give you an opportunity for you to do something. Because as it is right now, Tinubu will never be a local government chairman again. He will never be a councillor. He will never be a House of Assembly member. He will not ever be vying to become governor. He can only become a senator. But I know Tinubu will never want to become senator again. Ever. Tinubu is looking for one thing. That's the presidency. And you know how he can get it? He can get it because he is part of the process politically. If Tinubu gets angry today and says he's done with politics, that's it. So we're so eager to say, oh, I'm done with politics. I don't want politics. If you want, or you're saying, oh, you don't want to vote. If you want to understand change, it takes for us to get into the system. Let Steve Jobs, the former CEO, late of Apple, he was sacked by the board because they thought that at a particular time, he lacked the mental capacity or he lacked the creativity to move Apple to the next level. He was sacked by the board, or he was removed by the board, whatever you can Google it. And they brought in somebody else as the CEO of Apple. I think Tim Cook or something. That guy came in and changed everything that was going on. Not because Steve Jobs was a bad person, but at the point, they needed a change. And who did they bring for that change? They didn't bring somebody from Amazon. They brought somebody who was already part of the process. In the banking industry, they don't just get anybody to become MD of the bank. You must have worked with different banks within the banking industry. They don't just get anybody and appoint you CBN governor. You must either have been MD of, like the current CBN governor was former MD of Zenith Bank. You must have worked in that, you must have been in that that particular organization. You must have been in the industry. It might not be the same company. It might not be the same company. You must have the requisite skills. You must have the requisite skills. And that is what, for me, that's what for me has put me in the position where I am today. Because when I am with billionaires, when I am with trillionaires, when I am with influential people, I try to show them my value. By so doing, there are things that they will not do at their level. Person pass person, where pass person, where pass person. There are things they will not do at their level. They will pick up the phone and say, Ubi, where you dey? You get waiting we want mail we give you. That's because you've shown your level of responsibility. You've shown something. Don't just talk. Make sure that the people around you see the value you bring to the table. By so doing, they'll always remember you and say, Ubi can do this. Lewisen can do this. Okon can do this. Temi can do this. Okocha can do this. What is your social capital? Who is speaking for you? Who is that person speaking for you?
I'm really interested in getting promoted this year, but I am aware that somebody has to be behind closed doors arguing on my behalf and pounding the table. You know me, you know my work, and I hope that you will feel comfortable arguing on my behalf. If Jim knows you and you have any kind of a relationship, there's a very high probability that he will answer yes. And if he says yes, he will endeavor to get it done for you. Let me give a word to the would-be sponsors that are in the room. If you have been invited into the room, and if you have a seat at the table, you have a responsibility to...
He said something. If you are somebody, if you are in a room, and you have a seat, one is to get into the room, access. Two is to get a seat, social capital. Three, giving an opportunity to speak, perspective, how they view you, access, social capital, perspective, how they view you. If you have been given an opportunity to speak, you have the responsibility at that time to say something. I don't know if you have been following my program. Everything I'm saying kind of connects.
And if you have a seat at the table, you have a responsibility to speak.
Everything kind of connects.
If somebody is worthy of your currency.
If somebody, she said, if somebody is worthy of your currency. What is currency? Social currency. Social capital. If somebody is worthy of your currency as a sponsor, if somebody is worthy of your currency as a sponsor, for me, if I walk into a room and they say, oh, Mr. So, and I am a sponsor, all I need to do is say, yes, I vouch for this person. That's the same thing I do for people like Chioma. If you call me into a room and say you want to speak about Chioma, make her a brand ambassador of your brand. At the opportunity I have, where I'm sitting, at that time, that material time, I am speaking for Chioma. The same way brands approach me and say, oh, who would you want us to sign from the current Big Brother? Who would you want us to do this? Integrity is social capital. Yes, you're right. So I'm going to give an opportunity to 5 people to come online and tell us what they understand about our topic and what they would like or what they've learned over the last 5 sessions of our topic. I'll just give the opportunity. If you want to come on and speak, please kindly send a request. Kindly send a request. If you want to come and speak, I'm going to send. If you want to come and speak, just say, I want to speak. I'll send you a request. I want to understand something from your own perspective.
Spend it. The way to grow your power is to give it away. And your voice is at the heart. At the heart. Sponsors that are in the room.
If you want to speak, please say, I'll bring you up.
Into the room. And if you have a seat at the table, you have a responsibility to speak. If somebody is worthy of your currency, the way to grow your...
If somebody is worthy of your currency, spend it. I'm inviting you. Hold on, let me get someone else. Hold on, let me get someone else.
Hello, good morning, sir.
How are you?
But I've been following all your podcasts from, and the second that got me more was last Monday that you talk about access. You said access is key, that you don't need to beg for access. That access comes with what you are doing. That got me.
He said you don't need to pay for access. Access comes with what you are doing.
You pay for access. I also got one thing from the new and Honorable Friday organization that if you go to the app before, you always get at the living room. That it's going to compare that you go up to the living room, then anytime you feel like you can walk up with us and enter into the room. That means that way, only if you trust you that trust come before access. That if you don't trust you, you can't have the right access. That's how you are.
So, Coupe, I'll tell you something. I'm so proud of you. I'll say that you have been listening and you've gotten everything that I've been saying. Let me give an opportunity to the lady on the left. Hi, how are you?
Hello, Ubi. My name is Ada. Thank you for this opportunity.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
What's your name again?
Yeah, my name is Ada. Thank you for this opportunity. It was wonderful listening to you. So what I got, I listened to Access, I listened to Perspective, and now I'm listening to Social Capital and Access. I think Social Capital, from what you've been saying, is something that, I think, it will reach everybody. Like if you put a lot of growth in, a lot of work in yourself, you focus on your growth. Somehow, someplace, you would get into that position where you have access to somebody who can take you to the next level. And then what you do with that access really matters a lot. So social capital is very important for your growth as a person or as a brand or as a business. So, and when you get that access, you should make very good use of it. Thank you.
Okay. So what I've learned from you right now, what you've said now is you've been able to connect access, perspective, social capital. You've connected it. Now, from the last 5 sessions we've had, you totally understand how the progression goes, right?
Yes, I do.
All right. Thank you so much for coming on. Let's get someone else to speak. Bye. Let's get someone else to speak. Who wants to say something? This is really important. I want to contribute. If you want to contribute, please send a request. Please send a request. if you want to contribute, please send a request. Send a request, sir. Please, can you go to where we can see you, sir? How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing well, Ubi.
Good morning.
Good morning. So,
all right, so you know our topic. If you've been following our live sessions, you know what we've been talking about. What do you understand with the connection? We've been able to connect different topics. What do you understand about it?
So, you know, what my point of interest from everything was when we were talking about who speaks for you, you know, wherever you find yourself. So, and I was trying to relate it to somebody that I know. You know, he is a Cameroonian, and he worked for a company. So in this company, they drive a truck. They drive from something like from Ogun State to Lagos State every day. And when he came on board, he was just all about himself. He does his thing. He don't want to relate with other drivers in that company.
Hello, Obi.
And you know, that was something. He was like, oh no, these other drivers, they do it this way, but you know, I came in, I started my own style, and everybody is like, the other guys are jealous of me or something. I said, no. I said, why don't you learn? These guys have been there before you. Why don't you try to know whatever thing they're good? Don't just be an island. Don't just come in with your own style and do your own thing. Anyway, so let me summarize this story. So he goes to, let me say he goes from Ogun State to Lagos State every day, and he comes back the same day. Other drivers go to Lagos, they sleep over, and they come back the next day. He goes, he come back, go home with the company truck and pack it in his house. And early in the morning, he drops it, he comes back to drop it at the office. So he didn't know the other drivers were pissed off, because now the managers are looking at him as, oh, he's doing something the other guys are not doing.
So basically, while he was building his capital, social currency,
yeah,
the company, the HR, when watching what he was doing.
They were watching.
And he was a new driver.
He was a new driver.
So he brought in something. I mean, hold on.
Okay.
I spoke about something on Monday. I said, for you to disrupt anything you are doing,
right?
Listen, you can be doing, performance currency. So for you to be, I said something on Monday. I can remember. Let me see how I can say it. I can be selling hair for 10 years, and somebody who is selling hair for the first 1 year can do better than me. All you need to do is, when you come into an organization or when you come into a particular business in your life,
environment, yeah,
you all one thing to be different. Look at what people are doing and find how to do it differently. Don't just say people are succeeding selling hair.
Yep.
I've come to sell hair. So exactly what you're saying is connected to what I said on Monday.
Okay.
Where I said people, right? Where I said you can do a business where you can imagine. Okay, for example, for those of you that went to school in Nigeria, in let's say in campuses, you see that when you come, there's mama put everywhere. People are selling food in, or if you go to NYC camp, Mami Market, people are selling food there. But there's a reason why there's a particular woman that people always crowd her food, her food stand. There is a reason. There's something she's doing different. Maybe her facial expression, how she relates with people, her customer service is different from the guys that would have been there for 5-6 years.
That's right. Anyway.
So that is it. So let me give opportunity to the guy on my left. Hi, how are you doing, sir?
I'm fine, sir.
So can you quickly just, tell us what you've understood about our topic?
Yes, what I've understood is, actually, I only experienced when you were talking about assets and today's own, which is this my second time of watching the program. And it has actually taught me a lot of things on how to live my life, on how to communicate with people, how to make sure wherever I am, I'm making sense to people, so they can always get back to me so that I can actually make use of that sense I'm always making when I'm with them. So I really appreciate. I don't have much to say, but I say thank you for this program. I love you, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you for understanding. Hi, madam. How are you doing?
Fine, thank you. Thank you for adding me to this live. So I think I've missed some. I watched the access and greed and depression. And the reason I always share this with my followers is because I think I have a lot of young people following me, and they need to know and get value out of your life, because it's just priceless what you're teaching this generation, because it's from your experience. You talk about integrity and learning to keep quiet when people who know are talking. Know when to talk. Listen more. And when you're talking, make sure you're giving value. And how can you give value? You have to do your research. Don't just talk nonsense. Whatever you want to talk about, you've already Googled and done a lot of research. So when you are talking, people want to listen. It's not just talking that matters. So I learned that is how you get access. Because the time you get some access, they'll just cut you off. It's because they've not yet seen the value in you. So as a human, you always need to invest in yourself to be able to give value when you're talking. Then when you talk about integrity, it is also what leads to social capital. Then when it comes to greed, when people spend so much time on social media and they're there hoping to be like somebody. Oh, I want to be like this. Everything is not voodoo or juju. There's money in this country. Identify a problem. There's always a problem you can solve. There can be 1 million people selling the same thing. Once you identify that problem, go for it. And you talked about one of your staff that went to open something just like yours. You were angry initially, but you realized that person actually identified the problem in your business, and that was why you opened another business to serve that problem. So really, you've helped somebody grow in business, so there's no need to be angry. You actually saw yourself as adding value. The value you add, Ubi, is priceless. And that is why I always share your live with my followers. I hope they are learning from this, and thank you for adding me.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right. So, thank you. I'm going to bring in more people. Hello, sir. How are you?
I'm good.
Sorry, I didn't cut you off. There was something I needed to connect with the conversation you were having.
I get that.
And I needed to make sure that every other person speaks, right, as well. So that the lesson from whatever they are saying will be connected to the conversation you're having.
Right.
I don't know where the conversation, your line of thought was going to end, but let's hear you, sir.
Okay, actually, my point in this story was that, I tried to explain to this guy, connect with other drivers there. Don't just come there and do your own thing and walk away. But the company had a policy, and the policy is when you go home with our truck, come back with the truck that same day. When you go to work with our truck, pack it, bring it back to the company. But he has been taking this truck to his house, and early in the morning, before anybody comes to the office, he comes to drop it off and get paid extra for that. So one day, some of the other drivers, they noticed what was going on, and they took it up with management. And when management got involved, so now everybody is like, oh, this guy, he comes back the same day. That's awesome. He saves us money. We don't have to pay for hotel and everything. But why are you going home with our truck? So now it's now for the other drivers to vouch for him and say, oh, he's a good man. Let's leave him alone. And the security man in that company. But he didn't connect with any of these guys. Nobody spoke for him. The managers loved him, but the drivers and the other guys in the company, the security men that are in the company, he didn't connect with anyone. So he ended up losing that job. The managers told him, go. But if you have a referral, we will refer you for another company. But why I'm saying this is good to that capital, social capital connection. Build it not just with the managers, build it with your colleagues, build it with everybody you find in your workplace.
All right, let me say something. It's good that you are allowed to finish up. Sorry, guys, please. if you're in a noisy place, please just can you mute your instrument, please? So we don't want so that we can concentrate.
Noise.
You see what you have done, right? What you said is a result of the Nigerian society. And I'll tell you why. That guy has done everything right. He has tried to save the company money by sleeping in Lagos.
Yeah.
Every time
Actually,
he goes
this
to Lagos.
happening. I'm in the United States. This happening here in the United States. But I was
It's happening in
just
the
trying
United
to-
States.
Yes, yes.
So you see, okay, look at this. That guy has been trying to save the company money
Right.
by going to his house, park the truck, and return back
Early in the morning.
early in the morning.
Right.
But the company preferred that he should park the bus or the truck where in his location of delivery, right?
Yes.
And then come back the next morning.
Right.
So if you ask me, and I'm sure that let me put on the comment, I'm sure that everybody here will understand the same thing. That for me, I don't think that guy has done anything wrong. Parking a truck in where you live and parking it where you will spend the company's money to stay in an accommodation overnight, right?
Yeah.
I don't think he...
Okay, let me
because I'm really confused here.
Yeah, let me
I really want to understand why the company...
Yeah, let me put in some, I mean some spot. So the other drivers, you know, like how I gave the Lagos to Ogun State scenario.
Yeah.
The company is in Lagos, they go to Ogun State. The other drivers, when they go over there, the company pays them to sleep in the hotel for that night.
Yeah.
To come back the next day.
Yeah.
So he comes back, he goes to Ogun State, come back the same day, and he went back to management and said, you see, I've been doing this and I've been coming back. Can you increase my pay? Because I save you money. I don't get to sleep in the hotel. So he is the only driver. This is a big company with a lot of trucks. He's the only driver that went to negotiate for pay me extra so that because I come back the same day. Other drivers were pissed off, like, you know, but
So, but he was not collecting the money to stay.
He comes back, but he doesn't. So how do we know you come back? Bring back the truck to the company. We want to see our truck the same day. Then we know you came back. You log out, we know you came back. But no, he takes the truck, he comes back at night, goes straight to his house, park this truck, and early in the morning.
Okay, so what I understand here is he defied the company policy and the rule.
Exactly, he defied the policy.
So that means he was wrong.
He was wrong,
because he was trying to do that because he had an undertone of the fact that he could go to the company and ask the company to increase his pay.
Exactly.
But he forgot that it was always going to be right for you to log in and log out.
Log out.
Time was very important.
Important, yeah.
You see, that would have helped his performance currency, right, with the company.
Right.
You understand? And that would have given him an opportunity where if every other, because I was confused as to why the company, HR, could not, stand in for him.
Yeah.
Yes, you understand? So if there's a policy, you see, that's the thing about people. If there's a policy that insurance risk, and if there's a policy in the company that the trucks will only be parked in a particular place when you go.
Right.
And also the next particular place that the truck can be parked is in our company premises.
Yes, right.
That means he was wrong. So it's good that you had finished your line of thought and you understand we now understand what the guy has done. Policy is policy.
Policy is policy, right.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
All right, thank you.
That's another very important point. That's another very important point that you brought in here.
Right.
I'm still expecting a few people to come. Thank you so much, sir, for coming. I really appreciate you, sir.
All right. Bye-bye.
Please, if you want to speak, please send a request. I'm sending a request now to people. Okay, let's see who comes on. Policy is very important. Sometimes you think you are doing the right thing, but if you're working under somebody, it's also very important. How are you doing, sir?
Good morning, sir. Ubi, good morning.
Morning.
First, I'm speaking with you.
What's your contribution?
All right. Let me start from the first time I listened to this video. From the first day you went to Oba in Anambra State, I followed your live video. That video is like, it cemented my life.
Thank you.
I was listening, you understand? So, If you could check your DM, I've been appreciating you on your DMs. So
Thank you.
one thing I know, I followed after that one, the next topic, access, and this last one. I've been missing the other ones. Not that I don't want to listen, but due to one thing or the other. So you said one thing, how to keep relationships. And if you have an access to, to talk to big man, billionaires, people were there, the people are just like, who are the billionaires, blah, 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 but they don't know what message you are passing to us. Because I have one man, let me not say his name, but he's a brother to Ifanyoba. And me and the man, we are very close. Even if I have problem, or any money I need to do one or two business, I'm into plumbing material. He's the only person I don't ask money. Why? I have learned so many things from this man. And once you keep disturbing big men, they will just cut you off. But I know that if I have an idea that I want to share with the man, I will go and meet him, sir. This is what I want to do. This is what I want to do. The man will be like, Bright, my name is Bright. So, Bright, yes, this is good. If you have any business that will bring money, come, we will do it together. Do you know why I've not been close to the man? Because the capital I want to use for the business, I have not gotten to the point of the capital. So it's not like you should go and meet somebody and the person will just sponsor your business automatically. It doesn't work that way. So I was like, once I get to this place, so I will meet the man, we'll do the thing together, and we'll make our profit, because the man has taught me so many things. The same thing that
what you're basically saying is you could relate with our first session that I did a recap of Oba.
Yes.
Also access.
Yes.
And today's topic, social capital.
Today's topic, social capital. I used to tell people that in line of business, if you're an entrepreneur, who knows you, who likes you, who hates you matters a lot. And that's what I learned from this thing I have been saying since morning. Well, I don't give a fuck. What is this person gonna do? See, but favor comes from somebody that has worked with you before. Like you said one thing this morning, you said, avoid a repeated mistake. Avoid don't allow your mistakes to be inconsistent. Thank you for that word. So that's all I have to share. I appreciate everything you're doing.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. So, I learned something this morning from that man's story. Do you know, for those of you who have iPhones, do you know that I took some time and I read the privacy policy of Apple when you're setting up your iPhone? I found out that your phone can be retrieved if Apple finds out that you are doing something that is out of reach with their phones, maybe fraud. If you are using that phone to do something, they can retrieve it back. But some of us, when we get to that place, because we want to set up the phone so fast, we don't read their privacy policy. Boom, you accept it and move on. When we get to hotels, there's a release form that is given to us to sign. Sometimes, like let's say in America, so if you get into a hotel, they give you they'll give you like a pen, like even Dubai, they'll say you should sign on the screen. We are so eager. We are so eager to check into our rooms, but we don't read the release agreement. Yeah, we don't read the release agreement on that. If you disagree with me, please go and read the privacy policy, the one you accept when you are setting up your phone. Please read it. If you disagree, go and read it. So you understand that sometimes we don't get what we deserve or what we are supposed to get because we defy the policy of the company. Policy. Policy. If that guy had followed the policies of the company, he'll become the most decorated staff. So sometimes you might be doing the right thing. You might be doing the right thing in your head, but the terms and the policy of the company is very important. So sometimes we work for companies and then we work as though we are entrepreneurs. We work for ourselves. Understanding that there are rules and regulations. It's like politics. You cannot be elected into a political seat. You cannot be elected in Nigeria without being under a political party. Political party. You have to be under a political party. You have to own a membership card of a political party. That's a policy. So you can be doing something right, zero policy. Once you have zero policy or understand the policy of the company or the people you are with, that's a big problem. I'll give you a short story before I leave. I'll tell you that 60% of the artists that leave record labels in Nigeria actually leave because of the things that they hear from other people who were not there when they started the business with their record labels. 60%, and I'll explain that to you. I know a guy in our entertainment industry who left his record label because his girlfriend kept telling him every day, you are a boss now, you be baba now, see, you go to shows and you kill the show, what are you still doing with this label? You've grown past this label. Forget this. They forgot that that same guy who is a baba now, who you see as a big star, somebody believed in that person and invested money in that person. Most of those artists today, you can look at the entertainment industry and find that they are lost. Because the same person who is advising you, hey, leave the label, go here, you can do this. When things are not going well for you, those same people will leave you. Listen to this. The girl who was chasing the band years ago, I bet you is chasing Chike now. If you are watching me, don't allow success make you jump out of a plan God has given you with people. Like I said earlier in this conversation, God brings people and put them in positions for them to help you. God doesn't come down, and it's people. My friend used to say, no worry, they go use their glow, call their MTN, or their MTN, call their glow. That means there are times where you keep becoming very, very useless with how you make your decision. One day, you go use your glow, call your MTN. I'll tell you why I'm saying that. I've managed artists, the biggest. Every time it comes to Valentine period, summer, Easter, my phone is buzzing. My phone is buzzing. Everybody is calling me. Because my artists at the time were the biggest artists in the country. December, when it gets to October, November, December, my phone is ringing every day. A day in December, we'll do 5 shows. 3 million or 5 million or whatever. 5 shows, calculate 3 million times 5. Like we're doing it back to back. But guess what? I don't manage those artists anymore. They've gone to do their own stuff. My phone is not ringing. But guess what? My phone is ringing for a different reason. That's because I didn't let myself get carried away. I was always intentional, knowing that people will leave. And when people leave, make sure that they don't leave and your phone stops ringing. Listen to this. Make sure people don't leave you and your phone stops ringing. Make sure that at every material time, at every opportunity you have, your legs are this way. Make sure your legs are in different things. Like they say, exactly. Soldier come, soldier go, barracks remain. Make sure you're always a barrack. Build yourself to be a barrack. A lot of entertainment companies in Nigeria crashed. Record labels in Nigeria crashed immediately the artists left. And they had nothing to fall back to. I will not deceive myself. MadeMen Music, my entertainment company, is not what it used to be when I had the biggest artists in Africa or the biggest artists in the continent. But guess what? While I was doing that, I knew that one day these guys will go, their contract will expire, and they will move on to greater things. I should not be the person who will stay and move on to lower things. Aside just a few people in our industry who own record labels, we have just very few of us that have a brand of our own that you can see that this guy is a brand. Don Jazzy, myself, Audu Mekori. Who again? I'm not talking about the ones that are artists. Jude Okoye. Make sure it's forward ever. A man called me and said he wanted to invest in music business. And we had the conversation for over an hour. And all I saw was this man will have problems very soon. And you know what I said to him? I said, sir, music business is like crypto. Investing in music business is like crypto. He said, what is crypto? I said, good. I said, sir, crypto, right? When you put money, you are not, you don't have the 100% assurance that that money is going to come out the way you put it. You can buy 10 Bitcoin. You are praying that that 10 Bitcoin appreciates. But once it depreciates, it's a problem. And when it appreciates, they are clapping for you. And once it depreciates, you are a bad business person. I said, sir, from everything you said, you want immediately you give me money. That artist must become a big artist. I said, sir, your money goes sweet to chop, but sir, don't worry. I walked away from that money. Ladies and gentlemen, the man took that money and gave it to somebody. Today is from one police case to the other because the man felt like I was too proud. And I spoke exactly how I felt about it. The music industry, listen to me. You can invest if you want to invest in the music industry. The money you are investing in the music industry, don't see it as money that you will get now. is 50-50. You might invest in an artist the first 1 year, the artist becomes big. You might invest for 5 years and you don't get shishi. But this is speaking directly from experience. For 2 years, Tekno did not make money. On the 3rd year, boom, everywhere. And it continued. I've signed artists that I made 0 kobo from. I rather got bashing from them. Make sure you understand that whatever you're doing, tell yourself the truth. Money, sweet. Money is sweet to collect. But know that when it's time to be accountable, you're accountable. Like I said, soldier come, soldier go, barracks remain. Make sure your social capital, make sure your access, your perspective, your greed, depression. Go back and listen to all the conversations that we've had. I'm speaking directly from experience. Every word I say to you today, tomorrow, I have said in the past, is coming from things that I've learned over time. I don't tell you things that I don't have experience or I have not experienced. Success sometimes doesn't feel good because you fail so much. And when you get one success, you feel like, am I going to fail the next time? Or the next try, am I going to fail? I've lived with people. I've benefited from people. Some, they have a bad experience. Some have good experience. That's because in life, you cannot please everyone. But always understand that the fact that you have that mental capacity or mental picture of you cannot please everyone, don't use that as a bait to always offend people or step on toes. My name is Obi Franklin. It was nice having you for 1 hour, 34 minutes live on Instagram. Thank you so much for listening to me. Like I always say, pick the things that you pick, throw away the ones that you want to throw away, but make sure that this video is not me giving you a guideline on how to live in life. It's me passing out my personal experiences and telling you what life has given to me and how I've been able to stand today. Have a great day. Have a great midweek. See you on Friday. We'll be dissecting a different topic. I love you all. Bye.